All right, everyone, welcome back. In this video clip, I will be discussing the fact that a work order has been created, and now it's time to go perform work on that work order. In other words, someone's going to give out the work order to a technician, a mechanic, an electrician, or whomever to go perform the work on that asset, that vehicle, that pump, that motor, valve, whatever the case is. So that's the next step in the phase of work order processing. So we requested a work order. Now we need to go work on that work order that actually became a work order. All right. So again, we go back to our operations tab. All right. Like I said, there it goes back to the operations tab. I'm moving something that you can't see on the screen, but it's my recording. But and if I go to look at all of the work orders, I want to go in the work order edit or whatever. And let's just say I wanted to look at my work orders. If I went in here and filtered on, let's just say John Doe, okay, and I wanted to filter on just my work orders. Uh, I could say show me my work orders, but uh, let's see, it was assigned on there. Work order assigned to, here we go, John Doe. Let's do assigned to John Doe. Let's search all those work orders. And lo and behold, there we go. I have 3 work orders that are assigned to John Doe right now. But in this one, in respect of this video, we want to choose this top one, which is someone said that they had some oil leak and then they needed a sight glass repaired. They're taking care of it right now. It's not an emergency, but we'll do that. So I'm going to click on the edit because I am John Doe now. Yeah, I've been assigned the work order, and I'm going to go out there and work on the work order itself. And what you see here is I know that they've told me pay attention to confined spaces, pay attention to my safe work practices, the other things that go with that. And I'm out there working on it. I went, yep, lo and behold, I'm going to need new sight glass and to fix this work order. So it's already been moved to working for me right now. All right. And I can see that someone could have ordered parts and already assigned it to me, or I can say I'm working on it, but I'm going to have to put it on hold because I've had to go order parts for it. But in this respect, it's working, and I've got some parts that I need to add to it. So what I'm going to go down here and say is I actually just went and got the parts out of inventory. You can pre-plan and put the parts in there, okay? And go ahead and add parts in there. Say add new, and then in this respect, it's a sight glass. Let's see if I have sight glasses in here. There, I'll take a look at sight glass and then say what sight glass is it, and see I have a series of sight glasses. But in this one, it's a 2-inch, 1/8 tube, and I'm going to say that part is in hand. Okay. In other words, I've got the part now, and I've collected it. Let's go back to my work order now, and I can see that I've added that part. If a price was assigned to that part, that price would actually come up on this work order, but in this respect, it didn't. So now I've taken that part that was assigned to me and gone out there and started changing it. And so what I did is I'm ready to finish the job. I went out there, I changed the part, and I I'm now ready to close out the work order and go on to the next job after I finish this one. But I've got to do all the paperwork first and say the job's done. Know that I've cleaned up. Know that if I had parts ordered for me that I didn't use, we'll get them back in inventory and say I didn't use them. They'll go back to inventory. If I did use them, they'll take them out of inventory. But I say in this respect, uh, Jane sight glass and cleaned area. And I'm going to say all good now. Okay. And I'm going to, let's just say I saved that before it got to, and it brought me back to my screen. Couple of things you need to know that this is a web-based program. And I say that just to make sure I didn't lose it. Okay. Because sometimes you can type things in work orders or on a web page, and then you jump to the next web page before you saved it, and things could be lost. But let's just say that the parts that I used, and that was the 2-inch OD. And so in the future, the parts required will come over here in the future. But in this case right now, I'm showing you that sight glass, and that was that 2-inch OD. Save it. We'll go back now and then back to the work order, and we'll see that now I'm showing that I did use that part. Okay. And I did put that on there. Now here's the other piece of it. For me particular, I will say that yes, it was me. Okay. And I'm the journeyman mechanic. Okay. And my name is John Doe, and my position is journeyman mechanic. And it actually took me about 1.5 hours to work on that. And so I'm going to save it. And I go back to the work order now. It's got a lot of back buttons in here. But what you can see is that now it tags me to this work order. Now, if I save that work order, I forgot to change the status of it. So I'm going to go back and say, I'm done. I've completed that work order. All right. So now when I save that work order, you will see that yes, I'm right back where I was, because I'm back to searching for assigned to John Doe here. Okay. Um, but that I am in the complete status. Actually, I have 2 work orders that are completed. Somebody should change out. So that's where I am now. If I go into the work order screens and take a look at the work orders, I will see that John Doe is work completed. Now, I could be that person who tries to clean up my work order system, because at this moment in time, that work order can still be reopened. You can add more parts to it now because it's not closed out. In other words, it's not ready to be handed off to whoever has to pay the bill for it. And whoever pays the bill says, I want to know that the bill's said and done and what everything is, and that nothing can be charged to that work order again. But at this moment in time, it still can be, because it's not a closed work order. If I went into my search, all right, and if I went back to my advanced search and I want to say the work order status is work complete, and I want to see what works complete, I'll see that there are 3 work orders out there right now that's complete. Gary Beam has his complete. Nobody's ever closed it out for him. But in this one, we're back to the sight glass issue, and I want to say, okay, I'm going to review it. I'm going to review John Doe's work order that he did or she did, and pay attention. And I'm looking at it now to say, is this ready to be passed on to the customer to close it out, hand it back to them and say, it's yours, it's all ready, it's good to go. And I'm reading, review the sight glass, change it out. Yep, they changed it out, and they even cleaned up. That's a good thing. I'll give John Doe a pat on the back when I see him. Thanks for cleaning up, doing a good job. All right. And so now notice that there's one more step that can come up. I could send it back and say reassign it, or assign it to someone else, saying, well, something else needs to be done to it, or I can go ahead and close that work order out. Now, when I close that work order out, and I'm going to say it's done, everything's billed properly, and it needs to go, and I hit save that work order. All right, now you'll see that right now work order complete is gone. If I look at work order closed, all right, and search all the closed ones, here's that sight glass. Now, I want to show you something. If I went to edit it, it says you can't edit it. You're done. It's closed. You can't do anything with it, but you can view it. And so if I went to view it, there it is. There's my work order. I could print it out to the customer. You see it in one way for the web screen, but then this one is the one if you said, do go ahead and print my work order. And I could print it. I could save it to PDF. Let's just say I save it to PDF, and I'll open one just to show you. Print. I'm going to say site class just so I can find it. Okay. And save it. All right. So now if I come down here and look in my downloads program, if I printed that work order out, and it's opening up Adobe because it prints it out in a PDF or saves it in a PDF, you can see here is my work order now. Oops. And everything is there. It actually prints in color. I don't know why it saved it like this, but it'll print in color, and it's a better work order print. But you could do it that way too. And that's how you edit, change, add part to, or like that, to modify the work order to get it to the point to where you finish the work, and then you can go close out the work order and hand it off to the next step, or send it to it be invoiced, or whatever that case may be. And that closes out the briefness of this video. Thank you.